So, Chris Whitfield, really great to have you as one of the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge finalists. And as we were just saying before we came on, really nice to actually have a chat, which we might not ordinarily get to at the final. Your song Homeless has made the final, a really wonderful piece. And just tell us what the inspiration was.
Well, I saw the piece. I wasn't able to get over there during the lockdown because the day I was due to go and have the photograph was we got the tier 3 lockdown, I think. But I had seen it previously in the church gardens, and I was thinking about this. I think what struck me was probably only about 2 years ago. I was going into Birkenhead near Christmas to buy a book or something. And I came out the car park and there was a guy there, homeless, and I kind of walked past and thought, well, I have not to pay car park. I'll give him the money on the way back kind of thing. And then went around the corner and there was a young girl there. Now, clearly, whether someone is female, is young, is old, is not the point kind of thing. But personally, I've got a daughter, I've got a granddaughter. It really kind of hit home that, in this very cold December day, you've got this young girl who, for whatever reason, hasn't got a home. And when I saw the homeless Jesus, I think it brought that back really. And so I think that's why it had quite a powerful reaction. And then when I, decided to enter this competition, it was the obvious thing to call upon. So I guess that's the origin of the song.
So of course this is an unusual songwriting exercise, but how did you come to be a songwriter?
My personal backstory is about 5 years ago, I had a major heart operation. I had a mitral valve defect, which I'd had for many years, but they said we need to repair it. And as part of the recovery from that, and I made a very quick physical recovery, but the mental kind of health side was a bit slower. My wife suggested, why don't you join a ukulele troupe, which I did. Now, as soon as I picked up the ukulele, I started writing songs, which was resonant of what happened when I picked up a guitar at the age of 15. I started writing songs kind of thing. So it kind of regenerated that, that compulsion that's somewhere within to write a song. I think that if you're a performer, you're probably seeking out for other better songs, to be fair, to perform. But I've just got this kind of something inside that kind of manifests itself in kind of songwriting.
It's been really, really good to talk to you, Chris. So
and Julie,
without further ado, this is Chris Whitfield and Homeless.
One man in the winter cold, his only friend's a dog named Hope, who's frail and getting old. One girl in the pouring rain, she's no one to support, yet she's a habit to maintain. It could be you, it could be me, it could be any one of us our eyes can see. And if you say they have a choice, I'd say that cannot be the case if you've no voice. If it was you, if it was me, would they turn away like we turn away and let things be? One place on a Christmas day, a sanctuary of love, yet it's a one-stop hideaway. One day on, it's as before, when no one seeks a remedy, for no one has the cure. It isn't you, it isn't me, it isn't any one of us. Our eyes now see, and I will say, you have a choice, for you can be the one to give that soul a voice. If it was you, if it was me, they wouldn't turn away like we turn away and let things be.
Gary McDonnell, your song, The Winnings, has reached the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge final. Another wonderful piece. And it's inspired by this amazing sculpture of a horse. Tell us what made you choose that particular piece of artwork.
What it symbolises for me is all the hard work, really, that's gone into bringing our wonderful waterfront back to where it should be, really. The Winnings, the song, in the lyrics you'll hear about kids and cobblestones and tram lines and dust and grit, and you know it's a bit of a history of the development of Liverpool as a dock. From once when it dipped, and now of course we are well and truly back in the forefront where we should be.
Absolutely. And it's of course a UNESCO heritage site, the waterfront, something to be incredibly proud of. But of course back in the 80s the whole site threatened, and then Michael Heseltine stepping in, I believe. I mean, is that something that you saw sort of firsthand and that really stuck with you?
Well, yes. I mean, you know, I've been part of the Liverpool scene since the late 70s, really, the 80s. You know, I've lived through the Thatcher years, and Heseltine, of course, was associated with Margaret Thatcher and the Conservative Party. Not a very sort of welcomed party, really, the Tory party in Liverpool. But, you know, I mean, Heseltine did bring to the forefront the Albert Docks heritage status which it is now. I mean, you know, credit where credit's due, marginally, if only. So yeah, I've lived in Liverpool through the dark and the light ages, if you like. I mean, the capital of culture in
2008, I believe.
In 2008, I was going to say 2010, 2008. You know, I mean, what a boost for the city that was, and a welcome one, you know, and a deserved boost as well, I would say. So, you know, I mean, bringing it back around to the song and the story in the song, you know, takes us right through that period up to where it is now. And of course, this cart horse and the hard work that's gone into bringing us back to the forefront of the major cities in the world is a good symbol for me to represent the song.
No, fantastic. That's it's really wonderful. As one of the judges on this, we hear these and we give them a few listens, and it's so incredibly hard to pick the ones that really jump out, and we've all got very different views on that. But it's great to hear the backstory. This representing an image, I think, of grafting and working really hard, which is actually synonymous with this city as someone not from here. And it's great that comes through. I've got to ask Gary, the 11 miles of steel, I'm presuming that's the docks. Is that right?
Well, the line in the song is 11 miles of steel and buildings that grunt to the sound of the passing ferry bell and the awful pollution under the festival. Well, I mean, what that represents really is that we've been left behind, if you like. And of course, the ferry bell's going along. People think everything's fine, but actually it wasn't. And as a representation from the city itself, what I tried to say in the words was the buildings were like sitting there full of dust and grit and left behind, and they were grunting at the, the thought that everything's okay. Well, actually it's not, and there's 11 miles of buildings that are in a real state of disrepair, really, or they were at the time. So that was the message behind that particular line in the song.
Yeah, no wonder. That was the one that personally really struck me. And then this talk of under the festival and some of the things that are happening there as well really piques my interest.
Well, again, it's like saying, it's like a smoke screen where everything's fine, but it's not, because the festival, if you go back and look historically at that part of Liverpool, I mean, it used to be a skip. There used to be a dump, and they've put houses on it, and they've put like the festival on it. And I suppose from the heart, really, it's like a bit of a cry for help. It's like, you know what, you've got this smoke screen, you've got this wonderful festival, you've got the ferry going up and down, you've got tourists, kind of enjoying Liverpool, but really we're really struggling here, so listen to this, this is the message in the song.
Yeah, I think that really comes through. And I wonder if maybe you were living somewhere else, Sheffield, Glasgow, Birmingham, which is where I'm from, you might be writing something very similar, but just in a different locale, especially now.
Well, I mean, if I was from Newcastle, probably I'd write something similar, and maybe Glasgow, I mean, these places where in the past they've had quite a lot of traffic from all over the world coming into the UK. And of course, when the habits change, people move on and then things get left behind. Well, I mean, I've got, and you will understand this, Luke, I've got a real passion for my city, and it really is a sort of a cry from the heart, if you like. We may have been left behind because all of a sudden this is not popular and we're not needed here. But don't forget who we are. We're one of the greatest cities in the world.
Wonderful. It's really nice to hear that, and a very sincere entry. So the winnings, Gary McDonnell, and that's coming up right now. Thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you, Luke.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. The winnings are very small today. The winnings are very small. I can feel it in my fingers like I feel it in my veins. The winnings are very small today, yeah, yeah. Today, yeah, yeah. Look at the little children playing in the street with the cobblestone tram lines are catching their feet. And the dust and the grit is all that they breathe, all because of power and the human need. My poor city, a desolate waterfront, 11 miles of steel, buildings that grunt to the sound of the passing ferry bell. and the awful pollution under the festival, under the festival, under the festival. Oh, serious, oh, it's so serious. La 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 la. La 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 la. Winnings are very small today. The winnings are very small. I can feel it in my fingers like I feel it in my veins. The winnings are very small today. Oh, serious, yeah, it's so serious. Oh, serious, yeah, it's so serious. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Henrio, fantastic to finally meet you. Well done on your piece, The Adventure, a really unusual piece. And just tell us about this wonderful dog, Jake the dog. Where did you find him?
It was one of these afternoons that I just decided to take a walk outside because we were all stuck home kind of thing, and looking for stuff to write about because I really had no idea. And I just took a few pictures and I came across this one, this little draw in this electricity box in Hope Street. And back when I found it, I just took a picture and thought, oh, that's nice, especially because I had already seen different drawings of these character around the city in other places. And then once I got home, I started trying to discover who was the artist and where it came from. And then I found out about Lost Hills, the artist who's this Liverpool, I think, based artist that draws or uses these characters in different contexts and places it in different spots in the city and probably other places. But and just that was just the beginning of how I started thinking about what to write about and how to connect stuff that I had seen with the song The Adventure.
Amazing. And whereabouts on Hope Street is this electricity box?
It was I think it was in the corner with Duke Street. So Hope Street and Duke Street, where round in the corner of the Cathedral Gate.
Yeah. So just around the corner from Lipa, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, in Lipa. Yeah, right next to Lipa, actually.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And it's an absolutely fantastic song. But I can see over the last 12 months, just doing a little bit of research, I've had to make some notes. You've been so busy. Just before Christmas, you were the Richer Unsigned Artist of the Week, which is a great accolade to have. You did Liverpool Digital Music Festival, and you've been releasing new music. It looks like you've been really prolific over the last 12 months. How has it been for you?
It's been quite an adventure. No, mainly this is the year that I've started releasing music, 2020, again, after quite a long time, because I had been working with a label back in Spain, well, where I am right now. But I moved to the UK 2017, so it was a kind of a new chapter. So 2020, I released 2 singles just to try it out, to start releasing independently and see how things work. And it was great. I really loved the feedback and the response from everyone who's listened to the songs and all that.
Yeah, it's really obvious just having a quick look through your YouTube, your other music links, your socials as well, that the engagement there for your music is really, really positive. That's got to be really encouraging, especially right now.
Yeah. Because it's been quite a weird year for everybody, and especially like creatively. I guess it's been a lot of ups and downs, and phases of a lot of inspiration and phases of just nothing, and it's been crazy as well to find the balance of keeping up motivated and with everything else, but we did it. It's new year.
Any potential 2021 plans and any releases coming up?
Well, I've written quite a lot of songs during these, like, last year, 2020. So I'm planning on I have a single coming out in the next few months. I still have to figure out the date to plan it all properly because of these like last minute obstacles and change of directions of how things are going. But one thing is that the single, and then another one is that I'm working on an EP at the minute. But it's still very fresh. Like I'm just at the moment of the designing the track list and trying to make the demos for it and record it, hopefully before June, before June 2021, to be able to release it either by the end of this year or beginning of next year.
So sort of 6-month project, and then sort of hold on to that until when it's ready. Well, best of luck with that, and really wonderful
thank you.
Meeting you, and congratulations again. What a fantastic song. Really, really, really well done.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much.
Gray skies make me think of my life and everything I've become. Time flies, need a little advice. Did I ever go wrong? In my hands, the adventure is in my hands. New war at the back of our door. There are too many sides. What for people seem to ignore. We're the ones who decide. In our hands, the adventure is in our hands. In our hands, the adventure is in our hands. Old days, they're gone and leave space for the new ones to come. What stays ends up rusting away from the inside out. In our hands, the adventure is in our hands. In our hands, the adventure is in our hands. Once again.
Hello, Sarah J. Thanks for joining us.
Hiya.
This piece you've written, Suitcase Lullaby, is inspired by a site familiar to anyone that's walked through the city centre. Just tell us a little bit about the inspiration and why that location in particular.
Yeah, so I walked past it and I was like, it was in September and the songwriting competition, and I thought, I've got to write something about this. And obviously we've been in lockdown for, it feels like ages. And it inspired me to just write a song saying I'm going to grab my suitcase, I'm going to go travel the world, and just feel free, because I feel so trapped with this lockdown. I look out the window every day and I'm like, I just want to go out.
Yeah, I think everyone can definitely relate to that. And the packing the suitcases. What I personally noticed when I was listening to the track a few times is the amount of space that it has. So like a really reverby mix in places. I think it's a stunning piece of work. But did you do that on purpose to reflect the fact that you're actually a little bit trapped at the moment?
Yeah, it's tried to create kind of like, because I called it Suitcase Lullaby, I wanted it to kind of imitate a dream, because obviously we're not quite there yet, we're still in lockdown, so I wanted the track to kind of show that imagination and hope and trying to get away from everything and get back to normal life.
Absolutely. And I suppose just on the subject of that, where's the first place you're going to be going as soon as this whole thing's over?
You know what? It sounds terrible, but I just want to get a chicken tikka masala from the pub.
I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And as a songwriter yourself, this is quite an unusual process that the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge offers. So choosing a piece of visual. Did you find that you wrote in a different way, or was there anything about the process that was different for you?
I love it when somebody kind of says, write a song about this, or even like in like college we were told to write songs for film, and I really enjoy that because I kind of don't know why. I think it just gives you it's a different process of writing, and I feel like the steps are already in place, the foundations of the song are kind of there, whereas when you're writing from scratch, it's like it could turn into anything, but you've kind of got a plan when you've got kind of a inspiration, like the statue.
Yeah, it's great to be able to hang those thoughts on an image, I suppose. What have you been doing apart from this over lockdown in terms of any new writing? Have you got anything cooking at the moment?
Yeah, so I've got a 4 or 5 track EP, I can't decide yet. That's almost ready. I can't wait to finally release that, because I've wanted to release an EP for a long time. Back in September, I finally released my first single. So that was great fun and an amazing achievement for me, because I've tried for so long to finally release something, and I finally got there.
Yeah, well, congratulations! Certainly, in it's a big moment for everyone. But up against it in the last year or so. Well done, absolutely, to you on that. So, when can we expect the EP? No pressure.
Yeah, well, I really want to release it, but I want to wait till we're kind of out of lockdown a bit, because I wanted to make it a nice event for everyone to go to once we can all finally be in the same room as each other. So yeah, I want to save it for that, so we can make a nice day out of it for everyone.
Well, fingers crossed it's not that far away. Well,
yeah.
It's been absolutely wonderful listening to this track. Congratulations on making the final. And if you do us the honour and introduce your track.
Yes, so I'm Sarah J, and this is my track, Suitcase Lullaby.
This is my suitcase lullaby. I'm packing my suitcase on the road to better things. I got my head up high, ready for what the future brings. parts of this beautiful world I will get to know. Take me across the river, out to wherever I need to be. Follow the rainbows. I wanna feel free. This is my suitcase lullaby. This is for me. I feel free. Stepping on the same old stones over and over again. I want to fly away, away from all this mess. Take me across the river, out to wherever I need to be. Follow the rainbows. I wanna feel free. This is my suitcase lullaby. This is for me. I feel free. Why won't you fly away with me? Take me across the river, out to wherever I need to be. Follow the rainbows. I wanna feel free. This is my suitcase lullaby. This is for me. I feel free. Thank you.
It's great to have you at the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge, and you've made the final with your track First We Burn. First of all, though, how's lockdown been for you? How have you found it?
It's been, on the one hand, it's been interesting because it's given me time that I didn't have to work on stuff, especially creative stuff and solo projects and things like that. But on the other hand, the pressure that comes with that, the feeling that as a creative, now I've got time, I should be doing something. That with the weight of the world and the way things are going, it can be difficult to still want to be creative in all of that. But luckily, I managed to do a few things last year that I didn't know if I'd ever get around to. Like, I've had them on my bucket list of things that I wanted to try. Like, I did a guitar instrumental cover of Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson. And it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of effort to get that to a stage where it's presentable. And I'd always wanted to do it. And I finally had a month or so to give it a crack. So.
Yeah, well, you certainly look like you've been busy, having followed your socials for a little while now. So the picture that your song First We Burn's inspired by, just tell us about the picture and what was your initial reaction? Because it's a really striking piece.
It is, it's lovely. To be honest, I had a bunch of pictures for things that I was interested in. I wanted to write something. I actually initially started out wanting to write a song in a similar vein to a Terry Pratchett thing. We had it in one of his books, like a soldier song, like a marching song called Rise Up. And it had like poignant lyrics, but also like dirty lyrics in. And I really wanted to hit that point. So one of the things I did when the songwriting challenge came up was I started looking for images from around Liverpool that might inspire me to do something like that cross between poignancy and humour, and then saw this. And as I was brainstorming and as I was writing, I didn't feel not comfortable, but like the way that I was going, it didn't feel like the humour part of it was accurate enough. So yeah, this was the one out of all the images I looked for and all the images I saw. This was the one that really starkly stood out to me because of the bold colours, and you can see the sort of the damage being done in the Blitz there in Liverpool. But there's elements of that hopefulness in there, I think, as well, which is what I wanted to get across lyrically anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, the lyrics, I'm just going to sort of steal a line, really, which jumped out at me when I heard this for the first time. A ton of metal fell out of the sky and tore a hole in the roof of our soul. That is powerful stuff.
Thank you very much. Inspired by a poem, I've forgotten who it's by, Mervyn Peake poem called The Rime of the Flying Bomb. And the thing references a ton a lot, and I just wanted that kind of that imagery to be invoked. Funnily enough, I ended up with loads of weird inspiration for that. So there's the Mervyn Peake one, and then there's a line later on from the Addams Family that I co-opted about chaos for the spider is normality for the spider is chaos for the fly, which I'm pretty sure is Morticia Addams, right? I'm sure I heard that from
almost like a little Easter egg.
So things like that, I'm constantly on the lookout for things that paint a picture, that kind of that prosody or text painting, I think we call it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I wonder if this scene would have been from maybe 30 years previous. You might have been keen into a bit of Wilfred Owen, Dulce Decorum Est, that kind, because some of the tone really caught me.
Absolutely, that kind of thing. And when I was, let's not call it researching. There's nothing so grand as that. But during that sort of that brainstorming stage where you don't know what you're going to write. You've got a vague direction you want to go in, but you don't know what it's going to be. Lyrically, I find that the hardest. And so one of the methods or the tools that I found work over the years is steeping myself in the art of the time. And so like you said, if it was 30 years earlier, I'd be down that route as well.
Yeah. Fantastic. And just one final thing, really, James. How have you found, as a songwriter yourself, how have you found the process different when you're writing about an image like this compared to maybe grabbing inspiration from somewhere else?
It's a good question. I don't think it was that different. I've always been quite visual in like I started out, one of the jobs I used to have was as a graphic designer. So I've always been that way out. And I find that I'm more interested in what the image or the poem or the piece of music or the thing that I'm looking at or listening to, what it evokes rather than the specifics of it. And I think you can get that same emotive quality out of an image as you can out of a song and as you can out of poetry or all of the arts, basically, or even nature and things like that. So whatever sparks something, I tend to try and keep track of. I tend to try and make a note of. So I've got, when I'm panicking about not being able to find a lyric or come up with a tune, I've got something to sort of re-trigger that emotion or that. But that sounded too grand about it. It is, you can get in and just start to bolt things together and see what works and see what sparks. And I think that's what I did with this. That's the one that jumped out because I had a whole host of images that it could have been. I did want to write a song, before I even got into this, I wanted to write a song about Red Rum. And that's where I started looking, and then it kind of veered off into that Pratchett thing about the soldier song, and then ended up where we ended up. So
yeah, well, it's a really fantastic piece. You said you had a pretty busy last year. How's 2021 looking? At obviously everything's up in the air still.
I don't know if I should say. I've got music on the way, right? So I wrote an album's worth of music last year and recorded it, and it's I'm trying something different this time around. I'm trying to release them one at a time rather than dumping them out as an album. So that's going to continue. I'm hoping to carry on my studies. I'm hoping to do my PhD this year, or at least start. So it's kind of proposals and things at the moment, and applying for studentships and scholarship funding and all of that kind of stuff. So that might keep me busier. But I figured that while I can't do band things and projects other than online collaborations and things, I figured that might be a way to go. And I'm really excited about it. The more I think about it, the more I'm into the idea of that academic side.
Amazing. Well, I think everybody at Liverpool Acoustic wishes you every success. Thanks for this wonderful piece. And if you do us the honour of introducing your entry.
Yeah, this is First We Burn.
A ton of metal fell out of the sky, tore a hole in the roof of our soul. It scattered the memories all over the street, and all that it left were the bones. We pull the tatters of our lives from the rubble, and we smile like we'd never been hurt, as we clung to the lie that there's nothing so bad in this world that it couldn't be worse. Before we rise from the ashes, first we burn. Love can't heal a broken heart until they break it first. If I asked you for one more day, would you rise from your grave and in the darkness burn with me as we light the way? The flames lick up around our ankles. There's no point in wondering why. They call it normality, but normal for the spider and chaos for the fly. We force the cinders of our hearts to burn long after the flames have gone, till there's nothing left of us but dying embers of the will to carry on. Before we rise from the ashes, first we burn. Love can heal a broken heart until they break it first. If I asked you for one more day, would you rise from your grave and in the darkness burn with me as we light the way? Before we rise from the ashes, first we burn. Love can heal a broken heart until they break it first. If I asked you for one more day, would you rise from your grave and in the darkness burn with me as we light the
Zero silver linings, and I'm still pining. The place we lost our way to, the truth we never heard. Lunar light guides me, the route that I can't see. I'm ready to retreat, I will not be defeated. Am I wasting your time? Is it a sign? Are you waiting? it a sign? Is it a sign? The bed has turned to tundra. Hold me close no longer. I am here still waiting for a breeze to catch our sails. Time is not an ally. There's nothing left to try. I am not your atlas. My heart is not your cage. Am I wasting your time? Is it a sign? Are you wasting mine? Did I make the wrong choice? Is it a sign? Is it a sign? Make up your mind. 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 Am I wasting your time? Is it a sign? Are you wasting mine? Did I make the wrong choice? Is it a sign? Is it a sign? Am I wasting your time? Is it a sign? Are you wasting mine? Did I make the wrong choice? Is it a sign? Is it a sign? Make up your mind. 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 Make up your mind.
Well done on the song. And first off, I've got to ask, what's the picture and where's that from?
Oh yeah, it's so there was an exhibition at the Tate, and there's a man called Don McCullen. He's like a photographer who he's had this amazing career, and he's like kind of a war photographer. He's been all over the world, and these like amazing historical moments. So the photo that was from he was there when they were building the Berlin Wall. And I thought it was really moving because there's all these people there just have these like incredulous looks on their faces, just seeing these walls being built in front of them and separating them from, all their friends and family and stuff. So I thought it was very moving.
Yeah.
So that's where the song idea started.
Yeah. How did you find your process? Is this something which is a little bit new to you, writing inspired by a picture? How did you approach it differently as a piece of music?
Well, I've done it before. So I've been in the challenge before. So I have done it before, and I find it's such a nice idea because sometimes I love making songs, but sometimes you don't know what you're gonna write about. So it's really nice to have like figure out something to inspire and to give you new ideas, something to think about. I think it's just a lovely idea.
Yeah, and it's kind of got multiple strata almost, the song. So you start off with quite a slow, quite relaxed, almost a little bit of tension in the song. Was there a deliberate decision to say, right, we're going to take it up a gear, and then you've got that spoken word section almost in the middle as well, haven't you? It's got so many characters, I think.
It kind of does. Yeah, something that I've been playing with recently is there's a few bands I listen to who kind of have songs that come more in sections like that, where each section has its own kind of, I don't know, environment, and I really like that idea. So that's something I've been playing around with more recently, and that's a new idea.
I think it goes well with what this song is about, and it being about walls. the song, the way how we did the song, there's no space within it. There's no breath. It's just intro and verse and chorus and spoken and verse again. So there's no space in it. So we wanted to give that impression on a deeper level that, the song kind of confronts you, You feel like you're almost walled in. There's no space. Yeah.
You're saying that now, and I can kind of retrospectively hear that working, and just that sense of almost being a little bit out of breath listening to it. There's no chance to let up. There's no let up in it whatsoever. And I was really lucky. I worked with an artist who's based in Berlin, and managed to fly over there with my cello and do some work with her. But one of the things I did was be a tourist for a day and actually see where parts of the wall used to be. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's such a phenomenal, troubling part of history, really, to witness up front.
It's really, I think it was really powerful, this exhibition, that this man, just seeing that happening in front of your eyes in these like photos of real life, I find it really powerful.
I think so too. When I learned about what the picture was about, because for me, my earliest recollection of paying attention to news, my first international big story was the Berlin Wall, was when it fell. And part of like that directly influenced the writing process,
Well done on making the final. It's a really wonderful tune.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Oh, to be at one, expand till everyone feels like one, made strong, force beyond emotion. Damn me the eyes collecting each night, reading your mind like a book. Turn off the noise of overwhelming choice, catching your mind like a hook. All breeze, rose, meaning that I keeping you and another morning comes, I get up, walk the floor, feel the solid walls. I wonder when this house became a cell. Wonder when this fortress might have. They say there's a bitter wind blowing over us, trying to get in. Great force has summoned us, named us, but we can't get over these walls.
Oh, to be on the other side. Don't look left or right, it's beyond your mind. I dream of birds feathered in light, beating wings and soaring in skies.
Your eyes potion over us every night, searching for the secrets buried deep within. Your mind reveals nothing but the cold sweat on your skin, your skin.
On your skin broken, heart broken. How many times we let your heart broken? How many times have we had our faith stolen? They promise us everything, only to find that we hide, clever lies in the skies, they have fooled us, schooled us, into thinking that we finally found the truth.
To be a one, dismantle everyone feels like one. Thank you.
John Farrington, absolutely fantastic to have you as one of the finalists for this year's Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge with your piece, Favourite Day. Just tell us where the photo was, and of course it's a little bit of a well-known, this one, or the photographer certainly is.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for having me. So the photo I saw in Linda McCartney's exhibition in the Walker Art Gallery. It's from a retrospective exhibition. And I was like, I enjoyed that exhibition so much. There were like so many great pieces in there. But there was a section in there kind of on her sort of personal life with Paul and the family. And this piece, which is called On the Pier, I think, is just a picture of Paul and their daughter Stella.
So in terms of the process of writing this song, it's a little bit unusual picking a piece of artwork or a photograph. What was the process like for yourself as a songwriter?
Yeah, I enjoyed it because it's not something I would automatically think to do when I've written previously, and when I looked at the song, looked at the picture, I like the idea of approaching it sort of from Stella's perspective, and kind of this idea of her just being on like a normal day out with her mum and dad, and maybe for her that was actually like one of her kind of favorite days or favorite memories, kind of looking back in her childhood, is actually just these like really normal days out. Absolutely no idea whether that's true or not, but I quite like the idea of it in my head. And I think also I became a dad a year ago, so I think I had a little bit of that perspective myself as well, of like, I like the idea of my daughter Eden being able to kind of look back on memories of her childhood and really enjoy the simple days and the what even may have just been quite mundane days, but that being like her favourite day, which is the title of the song.
It's obviously been a really strange last 10 months or so. Apart from finishing your degree, what's on the cards for 2021 and what's the aims?
Big questions. What are the aims? I'm currently working on like some recordings at the moment with Henrio, who is also on the top 10 list. Yeah, I got to speak to him yesterday. I can let you know, by the way, John, it's snowing in Barcelona, which hasn't happened since the 80s. That's what Henrio said yesterday. So the almost live weather report from the Catalan region of Spain is that. That's brilliant. No way. Crazy. So he produced my first single I put out in October, I think it was. So that's on Spotify. That's called When the Night. So he produced that, and then we've recently been working on recording some more of my songs as well. Kind of enjoying that process at the moment, seeing where that goes, and hopefully heading towards some sort of EP release maybe at some point in the near future. That would be really nice. And then kind of post Lipper, I guess it's just giving time to making more connections and getting my stuff more out there and building up an audience, seeing what doors open. I think that's kind of where I'm up to with music stuff at the moment. But yeah.
Great. All sounds really positive, and your entry's wonderful. It's been great to hear this, and it's been really nice to meet you as well, John. So thanks for sparing the time. Congrats on making the final, and congrats on making everything work as well. It sounds like it's been a handful, but like a really, really nice one to have in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd agree with that.
Wonderful. Well, if you do us the honour, introduce your track.
Yeah, so this is Favourite Day by me.
On the pier, where the moon pulls in the water, where the gulls cry in the harbour, where all time stands still, when Daddy takes me down to the pier. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite. In the clouds, where the air feels like an organ, where the hills fade from importance, where all time stands still, when Daddy takes me up to the clouds. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite. This could be my favourite day. This could be my one and only favourite.
Lizzie Callow, fantastic. Well done on getting to the final of the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge with your song.
Thank you very much.
What an amazing piece and amazing inspiration. This is a really well-known image, but just tell us why you picked the angel wings and where people can see them as well.
So the angel wings, they're near the Baltic Triangle, that kind of way. It's on Jamaica Street, if I'm correct, I think. And basically, because I studied in Liverpool, I've always seen them there. It's always been kind of a staple of walking around Liverpool for me. And it's just one of those, it's like kind of an attraction. People go there to take pictures with the wings are meant to symbolize the life of a bird. And it was just I kind of write off current situations, and obviously it's been quite a tough year for everyone. And I've been working throughout the pandemic, so it's kind of been like I've seen the sudden change, because driving to work, and that it was like a ghost town. Suddenly you see people on the streets, and there was literally nobody anywhere in the first kind of lockdown, and it kind of symbolized it feels kind of lonely, and like the wings kind of symbolize that, because it is an attraction. It's people go up to it to take pictures, and suddenly no one's there anymore to take the pictures with the art, and it kind of symbolizes that feeling of loneliness, I think.
And of course, the Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge is a little bit different, and you get to pick an image and write to that. Was that different to how you might ordinarily approach a song?
Yeah, I don't particularly. I kind of just go off how I'm feeling at the time. I never particularly write about one thing. So it really, to me, I don't even plan anything. It just kind of happens. So I do find it quite difficult, to be honest, to choose a picture and then write about it, because I feel like you have to plan the things. But actually, the song came quite naturally because I did relate it to myself at the time anyway. So it kind of just felt like how I normally would write songs anyway.
Lizzie, you said you've been working through lockdown. Your lyrics actually say, "My job is to open up my wings and give you a reason, a smile on your face." Now that makes me wonder, what have you been working as for however long you have?
Yeah, I have two jobs. As either a doctor's receptionist or someone who works at Boots, you always have to put the smile on your face and make others feel better, because that some people are just looking to talk sometimes, and you just have to offer that to people. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Oh, amazing. So you've been working at a GP surgery and Boots. You've seen firsthand people obviously sort of enduring what's been going on. So yeah, I guess that's been really interesting, seeing their reactions and getting a feel for that.
It just shows you how people respond to things differently, and how different the whole thing is for everyone. So yeah, it's definitely very enlightening.
Yeah, you get to see all sorts. But obviously, well done on persevering through all of that. It's been a difficult time across the board. But on a brighter note, this is a fantastic piece. Well done on making the final. And if you wouldn't mind, introduce your piece.
Yeah. So my song is called "Again."
Guessing. 'Cause years been enough. 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 'Cause years been again. Ooh, again. Ooh, again. Oh, again. Ooh.
So, Bryony Williams, wonderful to meet you. Congratulations on making the final of this year's Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting
Thank you so
Challenge.
much. Thank you.
It's a great song, River. You've picked a wonderful painting, actually, to write this about. Just tell us about the painting, where that is, where we can see that.
It's in the Walker Art Gallery. It's in the pre-Raphaelite section, and it was by an Eleanor Fortescue Brickdale, and it's called The Little Footpage. It was painted in 1905. It sort of depicts like an old Scottish folktale about this woman who is like mistreated by her man, and he makes her do really just crazy wacky stuff like sit in the river and dress as a man and things, and she does it just with complete love because she really loves him. And I just thought the painting was, I thought it was beautiful. I love pre-Raphaelite, but I also thought it was a really sort of sad, melancholic story, and I thought I'm quite good at writing sad sort of melancholic sounds, so I thought, yeah, I could definitely do something with this. I was just really struck by the story, but also by the visuals. I think it's really pretty. Like it shows her cutting her hair, ready to look like a man or something.
In the painting, there's this beautiful figure, but of course, when you talk about the narrative there, that gives it an undercurrent, which is actually quite disturbing. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. Well, I like kind of like the song sounds kind of sort of ethereal and dreamy, and I kind of like that juxtaposition between the beauty of the sound but also the beauty of the painting, obviously kind of juxtaposed with the kind of dark narrative. I just like those two worlds colliding, I guess. So it was really nice. It was really nice to sing about this painting. I probably would have, even if I hadn't been applying for this songwriting competition, I would have, because I like writing about paintings and things. I studied art history. So I would have written about it anyway, probably, because I think it's so beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. Well, those two worlds collide. For me, the line that jumped out was, but still I cut my golden hair and my love for you I'll keep, which is that wondrous thing of love, and then the sacrifice, actually, which is...
a pretty big sacrifice in her case, I would say.
Yeah, I think she's possibly been gaslit for a few months or years, and here we are. Any particular highlights from lockdown? You said it's been a great time for you.
Okay. I have one very particular time. I was played on the radio, BBC Wales, BBC Introducing. Do you know it?
Is that with Adam Moulton?
Adam Moulton, yeah. So
fantastic.
I was played one of my songs I wrote, I think last month, was played on the radio, and I thought that was awesome. So that was definitely a highlight.
Well done, congratulations. It's
Thank you so much.
Mean feat, really. So
it was. I loved it so much. I was listening. It was so amazing, and his comments were so lovely as well. So
make sure you make a note of those, because they are wonderful for electronic press kits and future press releases. So keep those to hand.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to ask you to introduce your piece.
I'm Rosa Leven. This is my song River.
Be still at the castle I won, my love. For love of you I place far above, and lands and pleasant trees. You are all that I need, and I wear the garb of a loafer page. For you my suffering is assuaged, my Lord, I'll serve you well, to the chimes of murmuring bells, and I'll sit in the river, and your son deliver.
sleep with the hounds, and I sit in the river, and your son deliver. I'll walk by your steed, and you'll take my lead. Oh, you're careless and you're mean, your lover and your infant, you pay but no heed, and asking you, Lord John, I pray you grant it to me. But still I cut my golden hair, and my love for you I'll keep. And I'll sit in the river, and your son deliver. Yeah, I'll sit in the river, and your son deliver. I'll walk by your steed, and you'll take my lead.
Rachel Burnett, winner of the 2020 24-Hour Songwriting Challenge and now finalist for the 2021 Liverpool Acoustic Songwriting Challenge. Well done. Welcome back. How has the last few months been for you?
They've been kind of the quietest and also most busy months ever at the same time. I've been able to write a lot more songs, and yeah, it's been weird everything being online, but I've actually done quite a few online competitions, and I really like the way that ends up working out. It means I get to spend a lot more time on my music, so I've quite enjoyed it, but it's been interesting in terms of school, but music's been going good.
You mentioned school. Of course, you're at quite a pivotal point in your life planning university courses. What's it been like trying to plan the next 3 years of your life while all of this has been going on?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, quite a few. I haven't made too many changes, you know. I've always knew that I wanted to do music, so I've been quite focused and lucky in that way that I haven't had to make any big decisions, and I always knew where I wanted to apply. But it has meant that I've, in the last couple of months, decided that I'm going to take a gap year, which is something I always kind of considered. But before coronavirus, I was always very keen to just go straight to uni as soon as I could. But now I definitely would much rather go when I know that it will be as back to normal as possible. And it also means that I can take that whole year to try and promote my own music as best as I can.
That sounds wonderful. I've fond memories of many years ago taking a gap year myself, actually to do grade 8 on the cello before I went off to do a degree in music and English. And it was really great to have that time to take stock and actually save up a few quid to go off to university with as well. Yeah. Although I think most of it got spent in that year. This piece, Time, it's a really, really striking image. Just tell us where you found the image and who it's by, if you can.
Yeah, so I found it when I was looking. I looked online at art galleries rather than going out to visit them because Corona. And I found it on the Rennie's Art Gallery website. And this is Time, inspired by Michelle, the piece by Michelle Mackey. And when I saw this image, it was really striking to me. It's a very striking image anyway. And I was choosing between quite a few of her pieces of artwork. But when I saw this one, it really reminded me very vividly of this reoccurring dream I used to have. And it was always about me and this other person who I can never see who it was, just like you can't see her face in this image. And in this dream, we were always destined, it sounds really dark, it's not that dark, but we were always destined to drown because we were on a ship and it was in the middle of the ocean. But it always had quite a nice ending because I knew this was a recurring dream, so it always happened again. So it never felt like it really ended. And I know that sounds so obscure, but this song and this piece of artwork just like really fit that dream that I had. So it meant that I could bring in the dream as well as what I was inspired by this piece as well. It was really perfect fit, actually.
That's amazing. You're not the first person that said that you've brought a little bit of your own life experience to the picture, and the picture has almost been a muse for some of the finalists and some of the other entrants. But there is the line in your piece, won't stop crying until we're gone. Every face water stained and cold, and that really resonates. But now you talk about the dream that come from that, it gives it even more depth.
Yeah.
Your musicality, your sense of harmony, and your voice have won you this the 24-hour competition before, and the writing, of course. This song is no different. I'm really curious, for anyone that's hearing your work for the first time, who your influences might be.
I've got quite a few, and it depends what we're exactly talking about. I draw a lot of influence from pop composers, especially the harmony from David Bowie to Adele, because she's, the classic ballad writer. But then I also take a lot of harmony inspiration, because that's like my favourite part of any song is the harmony and the chord progressions. From people like Danny Elfman, who write like epic scores, which means that it has these gorgeous like relationships, and when they go from minor to major, I love all of that stuff as well.
So if anyone doesn't know Danny Elfman that's tuned into this, of course he wrote The Simpsons theme, Batman 1989, Nightmare Before Christmas, all of that stuff. Really prolific composer. Strangely enough, doesn't write a note of music, but will sit and play, and has a team of orchestrators, which is just goes to show you don't need the theory to succeed. It might help, it might not, depending.
Yeah. No, I love his work so much, especially Alice in Wonderland. His score for that, it was incredible.
And of course, this is another piece. It's piano and voice, but I'm led to believe those aren't your only musical talents.
Yeah, I also am a saxophonist, have been for a while. I would name other instruments, but piano, saxophone and voice are my three main instruments.
Oh, fantastic. So if anyone's looking for a sax player, you might be ready for work, especially if you're taking a gap year. It's a great way to get experience working with other musicians. So Rachel, prolific as ever, writing, everything else going on. Have you got any other music coming up that you're going to release?
Yeah, so I have a few that I'm currently writing, but one that I hope to get out quite soon, as soon as I've orchestrated it fully, is Pick Me, which should be coming out in the next couple of months, I really hope. I'm very excited for that one.
Wonderful. So people can find your music online, all the socials. It's Rachel Burnett. And if you just do us the honour of introducing your track.
Yep. So this is Time, inspired by Michelle Mackey's Time.
Nicest in the water, like the lights painting to be so. I never wished to see the end, but it felt like something I have felt before. Don't stop crying till we're gone. Every face water stained and cold. I never thought you'd be the one to lay with me as we say goodnight. I love the way you sleep, and as the seem I'm trapped at two, you still get five. Will you meet me in the place behind your mind, where the clock just stops and we can find our time? And as the water rolls up on our tears, how's it feel to lose to free your hands like lace around my waist? Seems we wanna find a race. In love with your smile as it swallows our new fate. I wish for you again. And as the